Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are going to do an updated tier list on the healers. I know it's been a long time coming. I know I told you I was going to update all my tier list. So here's the second one that will be updated, and it is the healers. Now, I debated on putting the Sage in this one, but I ultimately decided, nah, let's just do current healers. I can tell you at the end of this video, for sure, that I will talk about where I think the Sage will be put. Now, before we get right into this, I'm going to stop everybody from putting these comments, joke of a tier list. Oh, I don't agree with your opinion. It is all opinion based. All these jobs are playable. I don't know how many times I have to say this at the front of these videos, that every job is valuable. Every job can be played. Stop being little babies. That wasn't the word I was going to use. Stop being babies about the fact I said your job is not as good as this job. Like, oh my god, joke on tier list. I'm going to go ahead and post that comment in this video. I'm going to post all the negative comments I get on tier list videos because somebody doesn't agree with an opinion. It's ridiculous. But with all that being said, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Go ahead, like the video, and go ahead, tell me what tier list you would like to be seen next. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Boom. And we are here in the video. Alright. So, to start this off, I think we're going to start with a Scholar. The healer that I personally play the most. And I love the Scholar. But ultimately, to me, the Scholar and just the fairy UI and all that, it feels too clunky for me. And I know for some people it's not going to feel clunky, for others it will. Like, the fairy is hit and miss. It can do good, it can do bad. It just feels too clunky. And I think that if Square Enix really wanted this job at the top, they would have reworked the fairy into something else. But I feel like they really kind of missed the opportunity with 6.0 coming. It definitely should have got some type of rework there. I mean, they already got most of the pet interaction on Summoner out of here, so Scholar's the only one left with like a pet hotbar, in my opinion. From what I saw in the 6.0 for Summoner, I didn't see a pet hotbar. But that's neither here nor there. The point is the Scholar has a pet. And the pet is kind of clunky. It's clunky to me. It really is. It has Boil. It's the barrier healer. And it just kind of... It doesn't lack class identity. It's there because it's the healer, the barrier healer, the pet healer. Like, it has its own identity. It just doesn't have that thing that takes it from being good to the best. It needs something to elevate it, and it hasn't gotten that, in my opinion. And that's why I'm going to put the Scholars the number 3 healer. I think it is in a position, it is in a very good position where it could be argued that it's the number 2 healer, but to me the number 2 just has that one elevated thing that gets it up to number 2. The Scholar just doesn't, it needs something added to it to elevate it. Like, something could be done to change the Scholar in a way to do that. But the Scholar right now just seems to be lacking. It seems that I want it to be number 1, but I can't say it's number 1. I really can't. I think the other jobs do what they do really well, and they can put out more damage. And yes, I know it's sacrilege for a healer to be DPSing, but everything in this game has to DPS at a point. You don't need to spam heals, overheal people. That's not good for the job. you need to do some DPS. And I think the White Mage, Astrologian just do it better. And they have something that brings them to over the top, while the Scholar's just like, I'm good. I'm really good. I have a pet. Come on. You want a fairy? You want a fairy to heal while you do damage? Like, you don't have to worry that much about the damage or about the heal. You can just do damage and I'll do the heals. And then you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I agree, fairy. You heal, I'll do damage. And then you look over and the fairy's just like, oh, you want me to heal? Oh. Like, it's just too clunky. And I think that stops the job from being just really good. Now on to the Astrologian. We'll go to the Astrologian. We'll skip the White Mage, go to Astrologian. Why not? So, Astrologian. Astrologian's number 1. Its Nocturnal Sect and its Sects are just too good. Main reason is it's both barrier and just a full healer right now. As of now. I know that's going to go away in 6.0, but for now, it has both barriers and heals, which brings versatility that no other job has. It is very versatile right now in the current content we have of helping the team. You need barriers? Well, we got it. Oh, what do you need to heal? I got the heals. Like, in a hardcore dungeon, boom, got it. Now, if you're doing savage raids, you get both a White Mage and then an Astrologian. Well, the Astrologian is going to be the barriers while the White Mage heals. If you get a Scholar, you're going to be the healer while the Scholar's the barrier. Like, it is versatile. There is no reason why you would take a White Mage and a Scholar over an Astrologian and a White Mage or Scholar. It's versatile. The Astrologian will always be versatile for the time being. Now, we could talk about what 6.0 is going to bring to it, which is going to take away its barrier and just make it a full healer, which I think it's going to be surprising because I think it might just overtake the White Mage. And I can't tell you why I think that. It's just a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling about all the current changes to jobs that is just, I can't shake the belief that the White Mage is going to just stand on top of the Astrologian. But with that being said, all jobs in this game are viable. I have to keep preaching that because people keep just missing the point of, yes, you don't agree with my opinion. But to sit there and waste your time typing a comment being like, your thought process is dumb. Like, does that make sense? You're wasting your time being negative rather than being positive. It's easier to be positive than negative. Like, just take your hate somewhere else. Like, I don't want it here. If you're going to be negative about something, then do it in a way that doesn't come across as being, I'm sorry, but a dick. You don't need to be a dick. Like, I really couldn't think of a word other than that. Just don't be a dick. But, in my opinion, the Astrologian is number 1. It is versatile. It does damage. Has the fastest cast time for its damage as a healer right now. And that's pretty much all it really needs right now. It does both the jobs really well and does more damage than the Scholar. I think that puts it there. Now on to the whitest of the White Mages. The White Mage. The White Mage is the easiest healer to get into, in my opinion. It has Holy, so you have a move that does great damage and stuns, and it's an AoE, I believe. Crazy. It's an AoE stun, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't play the White Mage. I think it's too easy. I think it's simple, and maybe some people want a job that's easy and simple, but I don't get enjoyment out of just spamming Holy. Now, there is some things that the White Mage just does perfect. It has the best heals in the game, in my opinion. It can take somebody from 1 all the way up to 1,000,000. It can take someone from 1,000,000 all the way down to 0. It does the most damage as a healer. It has blood for the blood lily, and every white mage is sadistic. Do not talk to them. You can't be friends with them. They just want to flay your skin. But yeah, white mage is crazy. They're all crazy. But the white mage ultimately is the second best healer, mainly because it does its job really well, on top of it does the best damage. In my opinion, the white mage is super strong for DPS. I think it doesn't bring the versatility that the Astrologian does. It doesn't bring the pet that the Scholar does, but it brings the holy. It brings the blood for the blood lily. It brings the big heals, the big single target heals. Like, it is just hands down the second best healer. Now, with that all being said, the jobs are placed where I believe they would be. This is how I see the healers. But let's say the Scholar gets something in 6.0. Boom. I could say it's tied for the white mage. But I just think the Scholar is on the cusp of being a number 2 job, but just lacks something. And it just needs to get rid of the clunky pet UI. I think the pet UI needs to be reworked heavily. I think maybe the best bet for the pet UI is they kind of do something like they did with the Scholar and just kind of make it into an ability, kind of like the Reaper, the Summoner. Just make it an ability where you push it and then the fairy does something. I don't need the pet UI. I don't need to tell it to do this. I just like look at a book, ability, boom, fairy summons, boom, it does its thing, boom, it goes away. I get people will like that the fairy's always out and always giving a heal, but let's say you make it like here's a good way of putting it. So in 6.0, the white mage gets a well, and it's a fairy, or it's not a fairy, it's a flower that pulses on some like server tick, and it heals everyone or everyone around it. Take that concept, but put it on the fairy. You push a spell, it's 15 seconds or maybe like a minute of the fairy being out, and at random times it heals everyone. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be better than having a fairy that has a clunky UI and a pet bar? I think that, to me, would be better. I think that is a solid idea that they could do for the fairy, or they could just rework the pet bar. But with that being said, there are ways that I think the fairy could be handled a lot better than what it is now. I have a problem with the pet hotbar. I don't like the pet hotbar. I refuse to touch that pet hotbar. But now that we have our current content jobs out there in place where I believe they'll be, let's talk about the Sage. The Gundam healer. The coolest healer. It's probably going to be the strongest healer coming in Walker. I think if I had to put it on a tier list for now, it would be right here, above Astrologian. I think it's going to do good damage. Its damage is going to give it heals, because it can heal a target that you go into a savage raid. You put your little healing buddy on, or your healer partner, it's kind of like a dance partner, on your tank, and your tank just goes there, and as you're doing damage, he's getting heals. So as you're doing damage, he's getting healed. And you're a barrier healer, so you can put on some barriers on him and do some damage, and now you're healing, and he's got a barrier. That is going to be versatile. I think the Sage will be the best healer coming in Walker. I love everything in its kit. It makes me want to be a healer main. But right now, I just can't see playing the healers because I just don't really enjoy it. But We'll see what happens in Endwalker. We'll see. We'll see. That Sage might come out and you might see me be a healer main. But I think the Sage will be the strongest. And with that being said, go ahead, smash that like button. Go ahead, smash the subscribe button, because if it's not grayed out, you're not doing something right. Go ahead, leave a comment down below. A nice comment, not some... You can be critical of the video, but don't be the dick. But with that being said, have a good day. Go get some pizza, because that's what I'm going to eat tonight. Peace. Keep it easy. Drink your water. Eat your pizza. And have a good day. Bye.